mean, Riley Cooper, I mean, like, that dude deserves a statue.
God,
I mean, like,
number one on your speed dial.
Hey, I'll tell you what, like, I mean, I didn't know until a couple days after the fact. I was like, wait a minute, is he the MVP or like was he on the all-tournament team?
No doubt about it.
And then Ty Floyd, when I sure got 17, and like stole it from him. But I was like, when has a pitcher like been a part of like 5 of the 6 wins in Omaha? I mean, what a performance!
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time.
Pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Sharp a little late, boys, at the spring game, obviously, as you can see. A couple of booze cruises here to do. Let's do it. Cruise. Grand salami to the boys. Finally back on track. And I got another one coming. Don't you think I don't? And that's how we roll in Tiger Stadium.
Just watching the spring games that were on television, one thing that jumped out about your squad is your quarterback room is very talented compared to a lot of the league and a lot of the country. I wonder, is it easier to recruit that position when you have talent or when you don't have talent? Coach Kelly, we're official.
Finally,
I'm
get a
telling
chance to meet you. Thought I had to get a private audience with the Pope. There's Jordy.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time.
Tearing up, answering the question, and I thought, my God, if she gets offered this job, she's going to take it.
It's just a crazy, fun time at LSU right now. Isn't this what everybody loves?
From the boot to the east to the west coast, no matter where we at, open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show, yeah.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right. Nice start.
Big day.
Nice start.
It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time.
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time. Welcome in to a Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live here on this Friday morning, as always, built by RMB Builders from our campus of Click Here Digital. Give us a like, share if you don't mind. Looking for 100 an hour. So if you're watching right now and you have not hit that thumbs up button, go ahead and punch that for us as we get going on this Friday. And we are absolutely packed here on the Jordy Culotta Show, as always, built by RMB Builders, and our phone line brought to you by Southern Regional Medical Center. Our friends Charlie Harvey, Jason Ramazan, and the crew got us lined up with a stellar guest list today as we come to you live from Click Here Digital. In about 5 minutes, we're going to talk to Dr. Michael Villison from Ochsner. We will get the latest from our partners over at Ochsner. We'll ask him specifically about the injury and not the injury, the diagnosis for Greg Brooks and what something like that is going to entail as far as the recovery goes. We will also talk to former LSU linebackers coach and now current Missouri defensive coordinator Blake Baker. We'll stop by here at 7:30 this morning. We'll talk to Coach Baker about preparation for LSU as the Tigers take off for Columbia today. We've got some sound bites from yesterday's Brian Kelly press conference that we'll let you hear. We're also going to talk to Ben Mintz. Mintz coming off of an absolute zinger last weekend in Oxford, which he dubbed the best weekend of his life in Oxford. That is bold words, as we will talk to Mintz coming up here an hour from now. Jake Crain back at 8:15. We'll talk to Brooke Kirchhoffer from NewOrleans.football to get a Saints report before we get out of here at 9 a.m. this morning. So, as you can hear, we are packed here on this Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. Make sure, as we said, hit the like button, share button, if you don't mind, as we are continuing here on this Friday. And let us always start. We're going to continue to start every show with the Greg Brooks Victory Fund. Remember, we have that tagged all over our social media. You can find that easily on our social media, how you can get involved and donate to the fund to help out our friend Greg Brooks, who was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer earlier this week, that we're actually going to talk to the doctor from Oshner, Dr. Villison, coming up here in a couple of minutes, and we'll ask him specifically about the road ahead for Greg Brooks, who was diagnosed with medulloblastoma earlier this week. So looking forward to talking to Doc, and we will always remind you about the Victory Fund that has been set up by TAF, that we have a link on all of our social media so you can get involved and help with what Greg is battling. As always, we appreciate you being here on this Friday. Let's start and listen to some of what Brian Kelly had to say yesterday as LSU gets ready for this road trip. You good over there, Stewie?
He's downloading right now. We've got to make a troll panel.
Yep. So we will hear from Brian Kelly. But just to preview this one, because as you heard, we got a lot of guests coming up today, so I want to get kind of our preview of the game in before we get Coach Baker in here.
Revenge game for BB.
Yeah, absolutely. Blake Baker, I think he was one of the last ones on the last staff that was, terminated, let go when Brian Kelly decided to turn the entire thing over. I thought that Baker was a huge loss for LSU, especially from the recruiting standpoint. If you remember, we had Coach Baker on when we were talking about Harold Perkins. Harold Perkins, when his, he really started to ascend last season, we talked and reached out to Coach Blake Baker, who came on and kind of gave us the background. He was the lead recruiter on Harold Perkins. He did a lot of the groundwork. He did a lot of the relationship building. He did a lot of the, selling of LSU's program to Harold Perkins. And really, along the way of his time here at LSU, he was still a little green, but really turned into a sharp recruiter and a really good on-the-field coach. And just a couple of stints, he's a defensive coordinator in the SEC. Obviously, he'd like to see his unit performing better, but Baker has been one of those guys that's been a fast riser in the coaching industry and a very talented guy when it comes to X's and O's and recruiting. I mean, he's kind of one of those guys that's, he's almost like a triple threat. He can sell it in the living room, he can coach it on the field, and then publicly he can step out there and talk about it. I mean, he's a guy that potentially he can probably, rise in the coaching ranks as far as he wants to go. So looking forward to talking to him at 7:30 this morning. We'll ask him what it's like to prepare for an offense like LSU, right? I mean, you're talking about some of the prolific players in college football on LSU's offensive squad when you're talking obviously about Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas. Logan Diggs is in that mix as well. Mason Taylor is a heck of a matchup. So lots to talk to with Coach Baker. Let me know when we have Dr. Villison. We have him. So let's jump on real quick with Dr. Villison. This is what I love about our Oshner partnership. Don't forget about our Oshner friends. Of course, the Andrew Sports Medicine Clinic, who we're partnered up with. Dr. Burnham and the crew has been awesome to work with. You can learn more about it online at oshner.org /sports medicine. And the Grove Complex over there on Bluebonnet is open every Saturday morning for you from 8 to 10:30. So if you're a high school athlete and you suffer an injury on a high school field tonight, or you think you do, you can go talk to a professional tomorrow on the grounds over at Oshner at the Grove Complex, 8 to 10:30. But earlier this week, Greg Brooks was diagnosed with, as we said, coming in, a rare form of brain cancer dubbed medulloblastoma, which affects about 350 to 500 people in the country every year, and it's most common in children. He did have a successful surgery back in September to remove the tumor. But as we said, we learned about the diagnosis earlier this week, and our friends over at Ochsner can offer up their knowledge and expertise on just what the road ahead may look like for Greg Brooks. So let's welcome into the conversation this morning Dr. Michael Villison, who is over at Ochsner and is kind enough to join us on this Friday morning. Dr. Villison, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing okay. As you said, as you heard coming in, we were talking specifically about Greg Brooks, who has a rare form of brain cancer that was diagnosed earlier this week of medulloblastoma. If you could you just talk to us a little bit about what that diagnosis is, what the road ahead may look like for Greg?
Yeah, like you said, it's about 350 to 500 people in America a year. So, very rare. It's something that no one expects to hear in terms of a diagnosis at all. And it's very fortunate that he was able to get the care that he got and be able to diagnose that. That's been kind of awesome to see that take place so quickly. It starts out with identifying the issue, based off of his symptoms. It looked like he had vertigo to start out with. And so, sometimes that's nothing, but luckily they were able to the actual cause for it with that MRI. And then, first part of it is trying to take that tumor out as much as you can. And then, based off of what it looks like, they were able to diagnose it. And then, the next steps for him, it's a long road, as we've already heard. It's going to take, at this point, some radiation and chemotherapy. And so this, he's got the best doctors at hand to kind of manage this stuff. Typically, you put them in either a clinical trial if it's available, or follow certain guidelines with treatment. But it's unfortunately not going to be an easy next few months to years with this type of issue.
The likelihood of ever being active again, is that still something that exists for a young athlete?
It's hard to say. If he's able to, it's going to be really awesome for us to witness something like that. But his health comes first and foremost, and so that part, that takes precedence right now. And if we're lucky enough to see him play again, that would be quite an inspirational thing to see. If not, that's okay too, as long as he lives a good prognosis after this. That's the best that we can hope for at this point too. Yeah. So first comes the treatment, and then after that it comes the rehab and physical therapy to try to get as much of that conditioning back as possible. And so, like I said, if we are able to see him play again, that would be probably one of the greatest things we'll be able to witness. But I think his treatment comes first, and we'll kind of have to see what becomes of that, and if there's any side effects from that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Michael Villison with us from over at Ochsner Health. Remember, over at Ochsner, primary sports medicine doctor, Dr. Villison, one of the many experts that you can go see. Don't forget about the Grove Complex on Saturday mornings, 8 to 10:30, seeing high school athletes who may be suffer an injury on a Friday night. You can always get over there and have them take a look at it. Doc, real quick, one of LSU's big guys up front, one of their defensive tackles, Mason Smith, had an ACL last year early in the year. It was actually in the first quarter of the first game, and he was rehabbing his way back, and in the middle of rehab, or I say in the middle, kind of towards the end of rehab, he suffered a high ankle sprain in practice. How does that connectivity kind of work alongside each other? It was on the same leg that he tore the ACL on when rehabbing and kind of everything around the part that you injure. Do you have to be aware of, whether it be through rehab or through training?
Yeah, with any type of injury, especially the ACL, which takes a lot of conditioning after the ACL surgery in terms of making sure that that's healed appropriately and then getting the confidence back in that leg. It's a long, typically about 9-month recovery. And so, with a high ankle sprain in the same leg, it's probably, during some of that sports related recovery and rehab, once any of the mechanics are off, it's time to kind of get some of that stuff fine tuned. And unfortunately, in this case, sometimes those things kind of happen in terms of you're trying to focus so much on the knee, and then sometimes you turn the wrong way at the wrong time, and then unfortunately you got that high ankle sprain, and that takes a few weeks that's a few week setback too. But hopefully, with the right rehab, with the physical therapy that he's doing, you get the confidence back in the ankle first alongside the ACL. And then, a lot of people do very well with the recovery from an ACL. It just takes patience and perseverance.
Dr. Villison from over at Ochsner Health, the primary sports medicine doctor over there. Thanks for the time this morning. Thanks for the expertise. It's great to see you. We'll see you tomorrow morning at the Grove.
All right. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Always. There he is. Dr. Michael Villison checking in from Ochsner Sports Medicine this morning. Don't forget about our partners over at Ochsner. You can learn more about them, ochsner.org, online, /sports medicine. If you have anything, remember, Friday night injury, get over and see him. We'll talk to Coach Blake Baker coming up here, Missouri defensive coordinator, as he is going to stop by here in talking about preparing for the Tigers as LSU and Missouri will kick off tomorrow at 11 a.m. And let me just say this about this LSU-Missouri matchup. I think LSU catches a break with the 11 a.m. kickoff from Como. When you're talking about, this place is going to be rocking tomorrow. They're 5-0. They're feeling themselves. LSU's the biggest brand that's pulled into Columbia this year, and they're about to find out if they're for real or not. And one thing that is going to be there is going to be the home crowd. And if this thing was at night, that place would be on stilts, man. It would be rocking. So I think LSU catches a little bit of a miniature break by having this thing kick off at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. And
Chris Blair said yesterday he was talking to the Missouri radio guys over there, and they said this is the biggest game at Missouri since 2014. It's the last time that they won the East.
Oh, this is
so. Imagine if that was a
enormous.
6:30, 7 o'clock, or 6 o'clock kick. It would be, you've never seen Missouri on fire like that. 11 a.m., as much as it sucks for LSU to have a quick turnaround after another away game where you played, I guess, in the evening against Ole Miss, and then you worry about kind of like recovery time and getting everybody healthy, waking up early again, all that stuff. And also game plan, because what you rolled out on defense seems that needed to spend some time on that as well. So you're trying to correct all of these things that you got exposed against Ole Miss, and you got to wake up and roll at 11 a.m., but it's almost like you said, you could spin this into a positive.
I think
because it would have been.
No, I think it's the only way to look at it.
Yeah, you could have caught LSU with a couple broken ribs and all right, put him back on put him on the mat, cut him, Nick.
Yeah, exactly. This is, I believe. Really, it's a break for LSU to play at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. When's the last time LSU fans have ever said that out loud? But I was on a podcast yesterday around Missouri, and I'm telling you, this thing is, and nobody working today in Columbia. Nobody's going to class today. This is a huge football game for them on campus tomorrow. It is going to be rocking in Columbia, Missouri. So, playing this game at 11 a.m. is a break for LSU, and I don't know if you paid attention to this. Did you see what the number did? Did you see what the spread did? Moved from 8 to 3.
I gotta check this. You told me that. I didn't see it go down that far.
That
makes sense. I guess people are, because it's one of those. See, I still got it at 4, and it was
bouncing.
Yeah, it was at 6.5 where it opened up. So it's going down to 4. It might get down to. I would imagine the lowest it would get with 3.5. They're not going to make it a one possession game against LSU, but I can see why. It feels Vegas just trots out LSU Missouri 6.5. And everybody could gobble it up. And now you start seeing people going on the other end of it going, well, I'll take Missouri at 6. I'll take Missouri, buy it up to 7.5. And now with the closer you get to the game, the easier it is to start. Oh, God. I get it. Because LSU, let's see, then the over-under stays steady, still steady at 65. So they expect a lot of points, which they should. And I think the early kick, just because of who you're playing, I think it still leaves a sour taste in LSU fans' mouths. Because you think back to the last time you played Missouri at Missouri, and it was at 11 a.m. Point Fest with Miles Brennan gets injured, but you end up having a chance to win with 4 possessions on the 1-yard line and can't score.
The thing about LSU that's so nerve-wracking about them going into any matchup is, I mean, I talked to people that were on the field last week. We talked to Matt Bowers in studio, and Bowers went to the game at Ole Miss, and he was standing down on the field during pregame and actually watched the game from field level. And he was saying, I'm telling you, it was not even close that on the All-22, LSU was better at every single position than Ole Miss. I mean, he was like, during warm-ups, it looked like two totally different teams. And that's probably what warm-ups are going to look like tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And usually when you see that, you just check off, well, that's the team that's going to win. And what's scary about LSU is that for as talented, and it's an outside neutral party coming in telling, like, for anybody saying that LSU doesn't have talent, they are blowing smoke. I mean, they are a player and a half better at every position than Ole Miss. And they will be tomorrow. But can they execute? Can they get off the bus and can they tackle? Can they get off the bus and be in the right position? Can they get off the bus and just
Not
make
slip and
plays?
fall.
That's what this game is going to come down to, because the closer it gets, the more I really believe it is going to be the last team with the ball is going to win. I mean, I've got no faith in LSU's defense. Just like Missouri's defense is going to have a sincere tough time guarding and covering LSU. I mean, you may be looking at the best two wide receivers in college football going right now. Like, I know that there's other names out there.
In the SEC,
Without
for
question
sure.
in the SEC. But when you look at Malik Neighbors and you look at Luther Burden, I mean, Burden's the only wide receiver ahead of Neighbors in yards this season.
And he can go.
Can he go?
Coach, he got one against
Can he go?
against Kansas State on like 3rd and 20. And he gets a bubble screen. And
yeah.
And he makes like the whole defense miss. Like all he had was one guy to make him miss, and dude tripped him up. But he got like 15 on 3rd and 21. Like easy.
The stat that scares me the most about Burden is he
Missed tackles.
Yeah. He breaks tackles.
He just
I mean, like,
he's like Nelly in The Longest Yard.
he's the boogeyman for LSU.
yeah.
Like, he's the worst case scenario. He's the nightmare.
He's Meggett.
I mean, he is.
Earl Meggett.
That boy's fast.
He's Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
How fast is he? He makes
Fast people look not fast. We get it. He's fast. Get out of here. But it's go to sleep and you see Freddie again. LSU is the one thing that you didn't need to see again.
The one player
Oh, y'all have trouble tackling?
I got something for you.
that you wish you couldn't run into.
You
They
run
can't
in
run into
The
him.
absolute next week,
face first.
you got him. You got him.
Lift
Luther
that
Burden,
dude up.
here he
11 to
is.
the ball. 11 to the ball.
Oh man.
He's got 4 straight 100-yard games.
Ugh.
The only game he was not 100 yards, he had 96.
And I think I heard Hunt Bobber saying he got stopped at the 1 yard line twice this year, so he could have 2 more touchdowns on the
docket.
board, on the docket.
I mean, he's got to be looking at LSU's DBs thinking, like, I mean, can we play this game Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
I mean, who's going to guard him?
Everybody.
Well, and they have a number 2.
Yeah.
That transfer from Oklahoma that's a
Right.
senior that's kind of like LSU looking in the mirror a little bit when you look at Malik
Theo
Neighbors.
Weiss.
Yes, and Brian Thomas. They got a 1-2 punch as well.
Yeah, and they make like crazy catches, like catches over people's heads.
And Cook's starting to get a little bit of confidence.
I mean, he's thrown 350 passes without an interception.
Yeah, I'd have a lot of confidence right
I
now.
mean, I don't care how you're throwing the ball, how far down the field you're throwing the ball. You throw 348 attempts without throwing a pick. That's stellar quarterback
And I
play.
get to go see that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they get to go play
Right.
7-on-7 tomorrow. Sounds an awful lot like Dan Daniels. That turned the ball over.
I'm telling you, this is
Pete Jenkins.
LSU's going to be in this game every
Come
week.
do it.
Yeah.
This is the game that LSU's going to be in nearly every week.
Oh, this is the first time since 2020, 2021, where it feels like every time LSU plays, other teams are licking their chops. They're looking at the schedule going, oh, we got LSU.
Oh,
LSU,
my
let's-
God.
Like defensively, you're looking
Yes.
and going,
I
oh,
mean, if you're a wide receiver, you're like,
I'm going to get
We got
drafted.
LSU.
I mean, I am eating Saturday.
These
Such
people
a-
used to be DBU.
I mean,
Clowns.
we were going through it yesterday. We were watching 2011 play.
Oh.
We were watching 2007 play.
We went 2011, 2012, 2013. You could go you could keep going. Even 14 was good. I'd take the 14 defense over This one.
Well, no, was it the 13 defense?
Oh, the
was
13
down.
defense was, but still.
The only year they didn't have a defense.
Yeah.
They had an offense.
But that defense still wasn't.
No, it wasn't this bad.
I mean, they had their issues.
I mean, you take Jalen Mills.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we were playing that game.
Oh, we played that game.
I mean, who would you take off of those defenses? Anthony Johnson, Christian Lacouture,
Yeah.
Jalen Mills.
Yeah.
Who was the linebackers on that team?
Lamine Barrow and
Was Minter?
Minter was not there. Was he there? He was there in 13, huh?
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, you would take a lot of the players.
I'd take probably all of them.
I mean, Papa Craig, Ego Ferguson.
I mean, you probably take the whole defensive backfield.
Corey Thompson, I would take.
Oh, yeah.
Dwayne Thomas.
Dwayne Thomas for sure.
Oh, straight dog.
Dwayne Thomas could be a player coach on this team.
Oh, Rashard Robinson, I would insert into the Bantus. Put him in now.
He's pressing off the bus, coach.
Hell yeah.
Lamar Lewis, Quan.
Both of
I mean,
them.
Lamar Lewis, you miss his mentality.
Yeah.
He's a dog.
Jalen Collins. Jalen Mills. Ricky Jefferson.
Phew. Give me Ricky Jefferson every year.
Yeah.
I mean, I would
Kavara Holmes?
I would take a Ricky Jefferson on every team.
You're saying
That's what they're missing.
Yeah.
They're just obviously we go back to this. It's what we just talked to the doctor. That's the guy that was on the team for that reason. Greg Brooks was your safety net, and so that's who you wanted to see.
Let me know when you got him.
Mm-hmm.
That's who you.
I got the BK too.
That's who you were kind of relying on, and now you lose that. And if you look at what's happened to LSU in the offseason and going into the season, it's been a cavalcade of errors. Like, if you look around, of misfortune, really. It's not the things that you really can't control. You lose your defensive line coach. Greg Brooks gets diagnosed with a brain tumor. Mason Smith gets hurt in camp again. It's just all of these things kind of stack up, and it's all on the same side of the ball. It's not a mystery why LSU isn't really performing on defense. I just didn't think it would be as bad as giving up 55 points and 800 yards a game.
Shouldn't be record-setting bad.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't. But you can see
shouldn't be
why it's not as
117.
good. No.
I mean, they're 130 in some stats.
Yeah,
like they are dead
last
in some defensive stats. I mean, it's just historically so bad, man. I mean, it's just they got to get right quick.
That the only thing that gives you any solace in it is it's correctable. That's what Brian Kelly kept saying. It's things that you can correct. But I heard the same thing that's what Bo Pelini was saying also. Whenever that defense was historically bad, and they're jockeying 1 and 2 to be the worst defense in LSU history, and it's things like tackling, it's things like missed assignments. It's not the players. Players are good.
Oh, so? I mean, I'm with you.
You lost one. I
mean,
think
you still got to make tackles. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
You still gotta. I mean, make plays when you're out there.
2 deuces them out like Nixon. I don't know what happened.
Remember, we're brought to you by Katie's Restaurant.
I am not a crook.
Katie's is located down on Iberville Street in New Orleans, in the heart of Mid-City. If you want to find Katie's online, you can. katiesinmidcity.com. katiesinmidcity.com is where you can find them. They got great New Orleans-style menu items for you. You got St. Louis-style pizza that you can find. You can also catch the coldest beer. And, look, they just installed 6 new televisions for you over at Katie's, so you can catch pregame, postgame, in-game NFL action on Sundays with their new hours. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sundays is where you can find them, and online. katiesinmidcity.com. katiesinmidcity.com. We're going to link up with Blake Baker, who is the Missouri defensive coordinator, getting ready for LSU to kick off tomorrow, 11 a.m. over in Como, which they say is a wild atmosphere. I've never been in any sport. I heard it's a great talent. In fact, was that Chris Blair yesterday talking it up?
Downtown.
Anybody got any knowledge on Columbia?
No.
Missouri?
I've been to Columbia.
None? I've never even been in Missouri. So
I've been to St. Louis.
I've never been to Missouri either.
I've been to
St. Louis style pizza.
I've been to St. Louis.
Which you can get at katiesinmidcity.com.
I got family in St. Louis. Never been though.
Oh. I don't know, but it seems like one of those sleepy, quaint towns that maybe they get a little raucous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might get a little wild out there.
What's the drinking?
But I think the drinking thing.
Well, a lot of LSU people are going, so that makes me feel like.
Really? I mean, is there a lot of people
That's
going?
what I've heard. There's like a big contingency going for the Missouri game. I don't know why.
If you're going, let us know inside the chat. I would like to know how many people. I mean,
Brian
after
Burgess is
LSU
going.
showing last week,
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if that kind of popped the balloon for some people, or if people still are heading that way. It maybe gives an opportunity for some people in Texas who supports LSU.
I just hated losing to Ole Miss because Ole Miss is just some punks, man. I saw a lot of videos of just people from Ole Miss just being punks.
Sure.
LSU fans.
Well, I mean, that's what
That's
they
what
are,
happens,
bro.
Just a
bro.
bunch of punks.
That's why
like,
people hate
It's the
LSU.
Brody, it's the Brody bros.
Yeah, they were mad when like they're throwing stuff on the field, like throwing stuff at LSU players. Like,
Would expect nothing less.
Yeah,
I mean, they'll be surprised on it.
Oh,
Right.
did you see what they hit him with a beer ban for this
Did they?
game? Yeah, you got sometimes you got to punish the kids.
we got coach too.
Do we? All right, let's go to our phone line and catch up with one of our favorites, man. Spent a short time in Baton Rouge, but really left a mark, man. He was the 2021 linebackers coach at LSU before joining Missouri as the safeties coach in 2022, and then fastly promoted to defensive coordinator in February. He has been a guy for LSU fans that we have discussed a lot. We brought him back on last year when Harold Perkins was really starting to explode because he was the lead recruiter on Harold Perkins. He was one of the guys that was running lead. Obviously, it was a team attack, but Coach Blake Baker was doing tremendous work behind the scenes, and he was a guy that we had built a relationship in just his short time in Baton Rouge, and continue to pull for him and watching his units grow and play. So it's fun to talk to him on this Friday morning as they get ready for LSU to come to town tomorrow. Coach, thank you for joining us this morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you having me on, Jordy.
Absolutely. Good to see you again, man.
He has an LSU shirt on under that.
That purple's peeking out.
I speak for everybody. We miss you, Coach.
Yes.
It's great to see you.
I appreciate that.
Tell me what it's like. Let's just start with the preparation and your side of the ball defensively. What's it like getting ready for this LSU offense? Because it kind of has shades of 2019 with how effective it has been in the first 5 games of the season.
Yeah, they're very complete. Like you alluded to when you look at the 2019 offense, obviously with the quarterback and really they didn't have any weaknesses, and I would say that's probably safe to say about this version of the LSU's offense. I think when you look across the board, one of the first things you do as a defensive coordinator is try to find any perceived weaknesses, any guys that maybe show up on tape that you think you could take advantage of, and you watch the tape. They're a really solid unit across the board, and really no weaknesses to speak of.
Coach, what about from your offensive standpoint, your quarterback, when we're talking about Cook, Brady Cook, who is set the SEC record last week, 350 passes, 348 without an interception. What's it like going up against that offense every day as far as your preparation goes, whether it was in training camp or week in, week out?
Yeah, I think, one thing that Kirby, Moore brought to this offense is a vertical passing attack. And, I give all the credit in the world to Brady Cook. He's a guy that last year a lot of people didn't know. He played all season with a torn labrum in his throwing shoulder, and the dude is as tough as it gets. And to see him have the success that he's had and the perseverance and grit that he showed over the course of a year and a half has been really, really incredible. But, I also give credit to Brandon Jones and our offensive line and the way that they've stood in there and protected and able to run the ball. And then when you look at us at receiver, Luther Burden and Theo Weiss and a freshman from Texas, Marquise Johnson that can fly. Again, it's 2 high-powered offenses going against each other this weekend.
Yeah, we're looking at Luther Burden, Coach. I mean, he's the boogeyman for LSU this week. I mean, he breaks tackles, he's run after catch guy, he catches everything. What makes him so good? Because he looks like Deebo Samuels from here.
It's funny. I think there's a lot of similarities between him and Malik, to be honest with you. Having spent that 1 year down there with Malik, you could see the one thing I think that separates them from a lot of guys is their competitiveness. Man, they're both dogs, and they both do things that are exceptional with the ball in their hands, in and out of their breaks, running routes. But their competitive spirit is something to me that really separates those 2 guys from a lot of receivers I've been around. How's
this week for you? I know that you only spent a year at LSU, but you know a lot of these guys. You recruited a lot of them, and we talked to you last year about Perk when he was exploding onto the college football scene. You had so much to get him to Baton Rouge. I know you got to separate. I mean, it's like church and state, emotion and business here. But what's this week like for you?
Yeah, I think it's like any other week. I think at the end of the day, you're preparing to win a ball game, and I'm excited to see a lot of the guys. I've had Joe Sloan and Brad Davis hit me up this week, and like you said, you got to be able to separate the two. And at the end of the day, we're all just trying to win a football game. But it'll be good to see them. It'll be good to see them here in Columbia and be able to hug their necks. But at the end of the day, we're all called to do a job, and that's to try to win the game. So I think that's been the mindset all week.
Coach, what do you see in this LSU offensive line in preparing for them?
I think they're a really good unit. Obviously was there when we recruited both tackles and was there really with Charles and Dellinger. So familiar with 4 of the 5. But I think they work very, very well as a unit. I think Coach Davis has done a tremendous job there getting those guys to gel. But very, very stout. They're not. There's not a lot of run-through lanes when you talk about when they run the football. I think from a pass protection standpoint, they do a tremendous job passing off games and twist and holding their own on one-on-one. And then obviously you got to be very disciplined in your pass rush lanes with number 5 there at quarterback. So I don't see a lot of weaknesses in the offense at all, and especially up front. I think they're as good as a unit as we've played all season.
Coach, I was on a podcast yesterday, and we were talking about storylines in the SEC and specifically LSU and Missouri, and it sounds like Como's going to be bumping tomorrow. I mean, it sounds like that this is a huge game for the program. Can you just talk about what the atmosphere is expected to be as LSU walks into it tomorrow at 11 a.m.?
Yeah, I think that, that's one of the things, Jordy, honestly, that's been a really pleasant surprise for me since I've been here is the support. And you look at going back to last year and even this year with the Kansas State game being an 11 a.m. kickoff and the LSU game, being sold out a couple weeks prior to obviously playing. South Carolina's already sold out for homecoming. So I know our fans are going to show up, and I'm sure there's going to be some purple and gold in the stadium as well. But I know our fans are going to bring it tomorrow and cannot wait to see that atmosphere. I think it's going to be a tremendous atmosphere for the game of college football, to be quite frank.
You guys off to the 5-0 start, Coach. It's created a buzz around Columbia, man. Everybody's going to be watching that one for sure to get the college football game day going on a Saturday. Coach, it's great to see you, man. Keep up the great work. And I know it's a busy time for you guys during game week, and we appreciate you peeling a couple of minutes away for us. And best of luck tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. There
Thanks
he is.
for Xavier Atkins, Coach.
Coach Blake Baker. Coach Blake Baker checking in from Missouri this morning, defensive coordinator. Good dude, man. Solid dude. Loves LSU. Loved his time at LSU. Would have loved to have been a part of the staff, but obviously doing great things now as he's moved on. Was started as the safeties coach at Missouri. I think he spent like 6 months as the safeties coach, and then they elevated him to defensive coordinator.
Got an extension and a coordinator job.
That's right. And look, a recruiting machine.
That's the problem.
I mean, that's where LSU misses him the absolute most. I mean, somebody that can identify talent, somebody that goes after talent, is a great relationship builder. And
I mean, he was subtly dropping names of who was, I was there whenever they brought in the 2 tackles. I was there whenever they brought in Perkins.
A conversation brought to you by our friends over at Hughes Mechanical. Remember, Hughes Mechanical Contractors. You can get your HVAC ready and back in service today, whether it is commercial or residential. Get in touch with Hughes Mechanical today. Online, hughesmechanical.net. Or call them, 225-658-2147, 225-658-2147. Tell Travis Hughes that you heard it right here on the Culotta Show. They are a trusted Daikin dealer over there with great warranty plans. Check them out online at hughesmechanical.net, hughesmechanical.net. One of the most trusted the most trusted and experienced professionals when it comes to serving South Louisiana. They're located over in Zachary, but serve the entire Gulf Coast as our South Louisiana. That you can find online at hughesmechanical.net. Appreciate Coach Baker for stopping by.
That's why I thank them for Xavier Atkins.
Is Xavier Atkins, he's playing over in Houston now?
Yeah. This is against North Shore last night.
Wow.
Can he
Yes,
play
indeed.
now?
Yep.
Golly, man, Jonesboro High's got to be like,
Give me
I
6.
mean, like one of the
What are
only
we
players that
supposed to
they've
do?
had.
Yeah, what are we supposed to
Hey,
do?
good Lord,
Take
that
it away
guy.
and give me 6.
6, easy. Put it on the board.
He looks good, and now he's all LSU, right?
Oh, yeah,
Because
he
he
shut
was
it down.
flirting. He was kind
Yeah,
of
he
was
was
kinda
flirting with
playing the
Missouri,
game,
flirting
right?
with Texas A&M. This is Blake Baker. Just giving him a thought.
I'm sure Blake Baker would have been able to seal the deal at LSU. That would have been a thought. How different do you think his conversation is with their offensive coordinator Kirby Moore and Blake Baker? I'm sure they're having two different weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stop letting them score, Blake.
yeah, Blake, you still here? I'm about to peace out. We're good on our end.
Well, I mean, look, man, that's Kirby Moore's done a phenomenal job of bringing in a new plan. I mean, he is playing right into Brady Cook's strengths. He's got 3 wide receivers, as Coach Baker alluded to. Obviously, you've got Luther Burden, who, as we said, is just he is going to be nightmares for LSU sleeping tonight.
Don't forget about their running back now.
I'm telling you, they got
Second
skill,
in the
man.
league.
They got skill. They got guys. This is going to be a tough. I'm telling you, last one with the ball.
Yeah.
Last one with the ball wins tomorrow. I mean, it's 42-38. It's 37-34. I mean, it's going to be
17-10.
it's going to be a shootout, man. No way. I don't think that you can keep this LSU offense
The first
at
quarter.
17, right?
Nah. I don't think you can keep them. I think that their floor is 24, like what they scored against Florida State. And they really
Yeah.
should have had more.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, they're too explosive.
Yeah.
24
offensively.
doesn't win you this football game, though.
No.
But you look
never.
now. I mean, I hear Chris Hilton is questionable. Aaron Anderson is questionable. I mean, you are now look. I feel so secure of LSU's 1-2.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're the best 1-2 in the country. They're arguably the best 1-2 in the country in Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas. However you want to kind of shuffle them in the bag. But after that, it is not as deep of a wide receiver room as we thought it was going into the season when you now put these injuries into it, where Hilton is questionable to be available tomorrow. It sounds like Anderson's going to be not dressed again in tomorrow. Kyron Lacey is someone who I believe is losing trust by the day at the spot, right? I mean, like it's the only catch he made last week was one where it was impossible to drop.
Tucked into his shirt.
You know what I mean? And I don't mean to bang on Lacey, but I mean he has been the model of inconsistency in catching the ball. I mean, I could argue that the biggest play offensively of the game against Florida State was his drop. Right? So I mean, after Thomas, after Neighbors,
Start getting into the freshmen.
but you haven't seen him play.
I know, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's not Kyron Lacey and you don't have Chris Hilton, then you start getting into Shelton Sampson, who you saw play. He had 2 drops.
Yeah.
You need Kyle
I mean,
Uh,
Parker.
I guess this is the point of the season where you realize, like,
Got to play him.
yeah, you got to play them. And,
Or you got to play one of them.
yeah, you got to
You'll
play
see
one
one-
of them.
you'll
and
see
you gotta
one of
see
them, I would
what
imagine.
they can do.
I
Like,
mean, I just think that you can't keep putting Lacey in positions to. I mean, some of the drops are backbreaking.
like, yeah.
They're drive killers.
like, was it,
they're game
Was one of those
changers.
drops, like, within that 5-minute mark?
Lacey?
Yeah, late in the game against Ole Miss. Because I can remember Jaden Daniels threw one to the sideline.
He had a
to him, and it
fourth quarter drop for sure.
Yeah, and it just, like, came straight off his hands.
But, I mean, I'd love to see him get Hilton in more opportunities like they had him in the fourth quarter, putting him in space like that, letting him run.
Yeah. I'd love to see, like, at least, like you said, 2 to 3 deep shots a game to Chris Hilton.
Absolutely. I think you would take one a quarter, especially if they're playing defensively like they were on him.
Yeah.
What is he doubtful with? A hamstring again?
I don't know. It was on the last play of the game.
I think it was like an ankle. It looked like he got, like, stepped on probably, like, at the end.
Oh, because you can see. You're right. Because he could see on the end of the game. He
gets
still
carried off the field.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they carried him off. So it looked like they were, like, stepping on him almost, like old.
Yeah, but he
down
was
on
he
him.
was hurt before.
Yeah.
like the crowd stormed.
Like, when he
came
fell,
down.
yeah.
He came down on it.
I hope it's not one of those. It looked very similar to the Travin Doral kind of play in the end
Oh
zone.
no, that was a hammy. That was
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. The way
he,
his
like,
legs went
yeah.
back whenever he landed, though. I don't think it'll be that serious, but it looked kind of similar to that.
But you got no Anderson. You got no Hilton. You're losing trust in Lacey. After that, you've got to go to a freshman because, I mean, you know you've got Thomas. You know you've got Neighbors. I mean, those guys are the best in the country. And I don't know if there's a team out there that can
guard both.
Of them. I mean, I have not seen defense.
Missouri definitely can't.
No, Missouri can't. No, I'm talking about like Alabama.
Look,
I'm talking about like Georgia.
I watched
Texas.
A&M. I watched A&M, like the Arkansas A&M game. Like, I just rewatched it just to see where that went.
It's called work.
And yeah, I'm working over here. But A&M can't guard LSU either.
No,
like they were struggling with Arkansas.
What A&M does,
they just had that front seven.
Yeah, they don't let you get the ball off. They don't let you get the ball off. I mean, that offensive line, that is going to be.
That's why I'm very interested in this Texas A&M Alabama game.
Texas A&M.
They might be doing that all night long.
Bama, man. I mean, this is an offensive line.
Kissing their girlfriend.
This is an offensive line in Bama that
twist that ring
is not.
Turn them lights off.
You know, a lot like Luther Burden is for LSU's defensive backfield. Texas A&M's defensive line is that for Alabama's offensive line.
Nasty.
It's a terrible matchup.
It's a horrible matchup for
Alabama.
And look, that's another point spread that LSU's fell through. I mean, LSU sunk.
Was that one like 2.5 now?
Down to 1.
It is now bouncing all over the place. Something's going on with Milroe.
So it's split. Yeah, somebody said like he's like hamstring. Like his hamstring's like he blew his hamstring out last week.
Put our boy in tomorrow.
Who?
God, Tyler Buckner.
Oh God,
put Buckner,
that front seven.
Put Buckner in tomorrow against McKinley and Nolan and those cats. Shamar Stewart.
Do y'all remember when Ian Book played Miami and he looked like he saw a ghost?
Yes,
that's what Tyler Buckner would probably.
Andrew Hatch,
like
Auburn coach.
Yeah, like against Texas A&M.
Tyler Buckner wants nothing to do with this.
I don't want any smoke in this coach.
It would be Ty though, huh? When they go
Ty
Simpson. I think the Buckner experience
I think
played out.
Right. Keep that hat on, Buckner. Jesus Christ.
Are you all right, man?
Good Lord, man. What is that?
Man just coughed up a lung.
Oyster.
Just coughed up
I'm about to vomit. We'll be back. More of the show. Sorry about that. Good Lord. Let me catch my breath. What in the hell was that? Is that a human being you coughed up? Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by Hebert's Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, Hebert's Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. Hebert's can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. Hebert's Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot. Oh, yeah. Sticking the roof in.
For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
Hey, Greg, the roof up? Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Beautiful roof every single time. True. True.
Phil's Oyster Bar, a staple of South Louisiana since 1945, located in Southdown Shopping Center and online at philsoysterbar.com. If you log online, you can learn about the private party schedule, the catering menu, and even order online. Daily lunch specials Monday through Friday. Learn about the history when Gus Piazza took it over in the early 70s, made it an absolute stop-in for everyone who came through Baton Rouge, and now Anthony, his son, carrying on the tradition. Phil's Oyster Bar, Southdown Shopping Center, and online, philsoysterbar.com.
Finishing us! Let's be special! Let's be strong! Let's smell greatness! From the top! 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9,
When law enforcement needed John Stefanski's help,
He stepped up and passed the toughest fentanyl trafficking law in America.
he's always had our back.
As Attorney General, I trust him
I trust him. I trust John Stefanski to stand with law enforcement.
and Louisiana families.
To fight back against violent crime.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
Trying to think who is the best safety to come through here in the last 20 years. LaRon Landry would be up there. Craig Stelps would be up there. I mean, I guess that would where the conversation would begin.
Eric Reed.
Grant Delpit.
Eric Reed.
Grant Delpit.
Grant Delpit.
Jamal Adams. You got to put Jamal up there.
Jamal Adams to me was more like kind of he was more like a
walk down linebacker.
Yeah, he was more like an outside linebacker.
Yeah, he didn't play the ball. Like not a lot of balls in the air.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of
I guess
interceptions.
his best pick was against Bama.
Yeah,
First play of the game. If you want to hear a stadium go bonkers,
Nobody didn't even sat down yet.
Was that the 10-0 game?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes, I was there.
Yeah, that was one of the best Bama games.
Oh, for sure.
That was a fist fight.
Oh,
like that was.
And they missed a holding call on the touchdown.
They missed a holding call on the touchdown, and I think the fumble at the goal line that Duke Riley scoops and scores.
That should have been a fumble.
A fumble.
It was at Bo Scarborough. They stripped at the goal line. Stripped
back.
And no offense.
No offense. Was
Was
that Kendall Beckwith that made the strip? I think it was.
Was it Beckwith?
I think it was old Beckwith. Let me go.
I could put Beckwith in
Let
the
me
middle.
jog the memory.
Was that Blake Sims?
Rocking that.
No,
No,
it was
Blake Sims
Tua.
was a was a 2-pointer.
Is it Jalen?
It was Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Oh yeah, because he wasn't throwing the ball.
He's the one that
yet.
scored the touchdown.
I saw him throw that ball.
Yeah.
I was
Jalen
like,
Hurts.
go get it.
Because didn't he score like early?
No,
They scored that touchdown like early,
No,
didn't
they scored it
late.
Oh, yeah,
It
because it was
was
0-0 in the fourth.
Yeah.
It was 0-0 in the fourth.
Oh, but he picked it. Jamal picked it off at like the 30, like 40, 45.
Chad Jones.
Oh, that's a great one. I mean, probably.
I mean,
might be
Chad
one.
Jones is probably the 1 seed.
Yeah. Tough
Yeah,
one
Chad's
to
the
forget.
one.
I mean, like,
Chad is the one
that's
seed.
the thing about DBU, man.
You could go down the list.
Like, that's the thing about DBU. You could start this thing with, I mean, really and truly, you could start it with Ryan Clark in 2000. Saban's first team. 2001, the SEC champs.
Yeah.
I mean, then from there,
Just keep it going.
Norman Lejeune. Then from there, LaRon Landry.
That's where my fandom started.
Then from there, Craig Stelz.
LaRon started as a true freshman.
No, I guess it would go from LaRon Landry to Chad Jones. No, from Craig Stelz to Chad Jones.
Yeah.
From Chad Jones, it goes to Eric Reed.
Brandon
Taylor. Brandon Taylor, then Eric. I mean, Brandon Taylor's a 1 seed.
What play were we watching? Was that Alabama?
Alabama when he breaks the line and he just starts slapping the ground. He hits Trent Richardson and just starts slapping the ground.
Man possessed.
Yes, that man just wants smoke.
That's you talk about DBU. That's what LSU's just missing, that missile.
From Brandon Taylor to Eric Reed. From Eric Reed, it goes to
who's next after
Jamal Adams.
I would think
Jamal Adams and then we're in the 14 class.
Yeah. So from Eric Reed to Jamal.
And Jamal Adams was a freshman starter.
Yeah.
And then from Jamal Adams, it goes to Grant Delpit, who's the Thorpe Award winner.
Yeah.
And maybe his sophomore season is the best safety season out there.
I would think so.
I mean, Chad Jones was probably the best 3-year safety. LaRon Landry was a 3-year safety. Stelz was he had a multi-season run. That 1 year that Delpit had as a sophomore, I think he won it was like Dorsey.
Yeah, they
you know
gave
what I
it
mean?
to him
And not saying that Glenn Dorsey was on his way to win all those awards his senior year, and he should have. But when that punk from Auburn took his knee out, he never could really get back and going on the trajectory that he was having. I mean, his junior year, Dorsey's sophomore year, he was unblockable. I mean, he was. If you go back and turn the Auburn game on, I think that's why that kid did that, because he still thought about it the entire year of him just abusing him the year before that. But I mean, the safeties that have come through here.
I mean, this place is a safety.
And now
backer.
people wonder. You're like, why are people complaining about the defensive back play? Listen how spoiled you've been. I mean, listen to the level of play that has come through here.
I mean, the players we just listed, especially early on, Craig Stelz, Chad Jones, LaRon Landry, they couldn't even play in this era.
Hell, Tyrann Matthew was a safety.
Yeah. I think he's in his own category.
I got him. Me too. I do too. But I mean, like, if you had in the media guide, he's a safety.
Yeah. But he's a tiny.
That's what Jacoby Brissett thought when he saw him on an island.
Right.
And he's like, actually, give me that.
Yeah, that's a safety 1-on-1.
Who was out that week? Somebody was suspended where they had to play him at corner.
Was that Daryl Simon?
I think that was Daryl Simon.
He was Defensive Player of the Week.
He was a national Defensive Player of the Week.
And he can play corner. Daryl Simon, I would take him too.
Yeah. All right, we got Ben Mintz coming up here, 8 a.m. We'll get Mintz's six-pack and jump into this college football weekend. I can't wait for this weekend, man. Saturday's slate is fantastic. Every single television window. 11 a.m., 2:30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7:30.
8 o'clock, right.
Pac-12 after dark.
Late night.
USC, Arizona. I mean, like, going to be so stoned and drunk off football Sunday. I don't even want any of that
Well, it might
stuff.
be very depressing.
Could be.
11 a.m. might get your heart kicked in.
Could be.
Get your heart broken, ripped out, show to you.
Do we have Mincy?
Not yet.
Mincy's he gets his own time.
I had to wait to send him the link because I didn't want him to.
That would have been an all-timer if Mincy jumps in for Baker.
Yeah, I didn't want him to slide in for Coach Baker. And
yeah, we got to watch this week. I mean, we got to watch today. We got a lot of people coming up. In fact, listen to this slate. We're about to go guest here for about 45 minutes. We've got 8 o'clock. We got Mintz coming up, his six-pack. 8:15, we got Jake Crain talking the weekend, as Crain will be talking this slate of games. And then at 8:30, we're going to talk to Brooke Kirchhoffer and get a New Orleans Saints report as the Saints. We're going to see if we can't trade Will Campbell for Marshawn Lattimore with Brooke. We'll give you a left tackle for a cornerback. Did you make that trade?
I don't know. You got that Marshawn.
I mean, I'm sliding Emory Jones over to left, Lance Hurd into right. Now I've got a lockdown cornerback in Marshawn Lattimore, and it solves some of the Saints' problems and gives them a solid offensive lineman in Campbell.
Coach, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't.
I just got to keep relying on this offense.
Yeah, this
because I don't know if Marshawn Lattimore can even fix the defense.
He may
I don't think that would help that much.
He may not be able to.
Might not be worth the risk.
We could give him some smaller players than Will Campbell. I can't give him up.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of their best defensive player.
Give him Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, I give you Nuss.
Yeah, I mean, I give you Nuss.
I give you Nuss. You raise me and give me Marshawn Lattimore.
Nuss for.
I mean, but the Saints
Cam
are
Jordan?
desperate.
Ooh, I take it. Look.
Yeah, to
Nuss
see,
for
like,
Cam
I mean, they got an expiring contract. He's old. I still can catch
Cam's
Lattimore.
still getting back there. That's the thing. We need a veteran pass rusher.
Somebody that can get home.
Yeah. And he's going to get home every time. Get him to the ground.
DeMario Davis.
Got Mintz trying to fix his hair, but
oh, it always looks
sorry,
good,
Mintz. Sorry, Mintz.
All right, let's check in on Mintz.
This ain't a hair show.
Mintz, who has done the LSU Ole Miss thing for nearly 25 years. I think the number's 23 out of 25 he's done. He called last weekend the best of all time. The best ever. That is a long time, man. Benny Mintz is back for Benny Betts here on his Monday morning, and his hair looks fantastic. Looks like he's still. We got no audio. We do. Okay.
Mintz.
Mintzy. Okay, I got you.
I'm here.
I got you.
Present.
I got you,
Just
buddy.
muted.
Mintzy, tell me about what your weekend in Oxford. It just following it on social media. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was, man. It was. It kind of felt like the whole last 25 years went full circle in like 2 or 3 days, which is kind of crazy. But I did like me and Tim Elko and Kevin Graham, the national champs from 2022, had a big reunion dinner at City Grocery, and like the chef, we had like a 5-course tasting. Like we got hooked up. That was super fun. Just saw a ton of good LSU, good Louisiana friends are up there. Devin Snow came up there. He'd never been to Oxford, and I hosted him, took him around the Grove. He had a real big time. And then, then the game, I mean, it just, look, it is what it is, guys. I mean, y'all know me. I mean, I don't even really talk that much smack. I know how great a football program LSU is. Ole Miss wins this like 1 out of every 4, 1 out of every 5 years. I mean, I know it. It is what it is. And so when they do get to win it, I'm damn sure going to enjoy it. And to do it in that fashion and that much of a thriller. And honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this. In that wild of an atmosphere, all of a sudden the vault's gotten kind of wild and rowdy. What a new development. They've really done a good job with all that stuff, the lights and the speakers, and the crowd was rocking second half. I mean, it was like sports nirvana for me. I mean, Ole Miss would have to win the SEC for me to be happier. That's how happy I was.
A lot of LSU fans were saying that the experience in the stadium made them want to make some changes in Death Valley, Mitzi. The light show and everything that was going on, aside from the littering, everything else it seemed like everybody was pretty impressed with.
No, well, they've really done a lot. 'Cause, Ole Miss, let's be honest. I mean, it's like the Grove's great, Oxford's great, but you never, you talk about the great stadiums, the SEC, and, the vault would, never get mentioned at the top, and I understand that. But I got to give Ole Miss a lot of credit. They've done a lot with like I said, the lights, the speakers, everything. I mean, it kind of had like a vibe, Jordy. I know you've been to Red Rocks too.
Yep.
It felt like a Red Rocks concert, and that like the first half was during the sun was up because it was 5 o'clock. It was more of like a laid back, relaxed vibe, and then it got dark at halftime, and it got freaking wild in that second half after it got dark. It was cool.
Well, if there's ever a demo that can handle Red Rocks, it would be Oxford.
Yeah, for sure. But thrill and win. It was a lot like the 2020 game. And I know a lot of people have been saying that about LSU. There's been a lot of comparisons to the Pelini 2020 defense and what's happened the last few weeks. But, I mean, LSU beat Ole Miss in that COVID rain game. That final score was 55-50. And LSU came back late in that one, and this was like the reverse of it. Ole Miss won 55-49 3 years later and came back. But it kind of reminded me of that same game, just wild up and down the field, no defense, all that stuff. So, very excited. I'm actually going back to Oxford today. I said if we beat LSU, I'd consider going back for Arkansas. And Jordy, classic Mitzi tour. Got it figured out. Doing Ole Miss Arkansas Saturday, getting up, going to Nashville Sunday, going to the Barstool Bar, Going to fish at Bridgestone Sunday night.
Hell yeah, Mincy.
A weekend.
That is a Mincy bender I've been waiting on to follow on social media. Buddy, this is a hell of a slate of college football on Saturday. Now, I know you're going to be in Oxford and you're the king of the town, but where are you going to be posted up watching all these games? Because, I mean, every television window has a great matchup, some of them multiple.
Yeah, no doubt. Starts at 11 a.m. Look, I want to talk about this LSU situation right now because I think this is fascinating. I mean, in 2020, they lost that wild game at Missouri when they couldn't remember the game where Miles Brennan went off, but the defense couldn't stop Missouri. I mean, I just said the Ole Miss game was a repeat of 2020. What's LSU looking at here? That line went from 6 to 4.5, and Brian Kelly's paid a huge amount of money. You know, this is a spot where you just had a gutting loss. You had national championship aspirations. Now you already have 2 losses in early September, and you already have 2 losses. You got an 11 a.m. kickoff. Missouri beat Kansas State 2 weeks ago. They're going to be fired up. I mean, this is a serious test of like the mental toughness of LSU here, because this is a weird, tricky spot. You know, a lot of things have gone against them. But, you know, this is why you pay Brian Kelly. You got to be ready here. You got to go out. You got to take care of business against a team you're better than on the road that's going to be fired up. But I don't – what's y'all's pulse on it? What kind of effort do y'all expect at LSU Saturday? Because I have no idea.
Backs up against the wall, Mincy. I mean, like we've been talking all week. I mean, the program is really from a Brian Kelly early standpoint of his career because nothing's happening to Brian Kelly. He's not getting fired. Nothing's happening. So he's not on the hot seat. You're in year 2 of a 10-year contract. It ain't happening. But he's at a early crossroads of his time here at LSU. He's got to figure out what his team in the program is going to be built on. And the mental toughness of it right now, like you're talking about, I mean, it's just something that LSU fans are not they're not accustomed to. You've not seen it. I mean, you know, the effort, the energy, the accountability, the stuff that matters, not playing the right guys. I mean, you know, there's shades of things that are reminiscent of Les Miles, and there's things that you look at that are very alarming. There's also things that you look at that look very good. I mean, hey, man, their offense is as good as anybody in the country. They might have the best offense in the country.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
I'm real close. My bad.
No, go ahead. I mean, they've done.
I agree. That's what's so frustrating is, dude, the offense is so cool. The way Jay Daniels responded from that fumble last week, that 65-yard drive. I mean, you got 600 total yards. He's making NFL all over the field. You know, I'm looking at neighbors. I'm a top 5 receiver in the country. I mean, you can't blame anything on the offense. It's just the defense cratering. And another thing, Kelly thing that's interesting, he was so far ahead of schedule beating Bama last year, winning the West. Yeah. But since he beat Alabama, I mean, like, he had the A&M bad loss late, the Georgia blowout. I know you beat Purdue in the bowl, and then you've come out this year with 2 losses. Like, since that Bama win, it's kind of been a little rough, to be honest.
4-4, Mincy, since that win. Mm-hmm. All right, give me your 6-pack. Who we liking?
All right, 6. I've been doing pretty good on here, I think.
4-2 last week. 4-2 last week.
Yeah, I feel like it's been pretty solid. I think I need to stick to doing 6. All right, college. Got some thoughts on some SEC games. First of all, I want to talk about this Bama-Texas A&M game. A&M beat them 2 years ago in College Station. They could have won last year when Jalen Miller started and had the 4 turnovers. This thing opened exact same rat line that they had on LSU Ole Miss. Remember last week I came on here? Mm-hmm. I said the reason I liked Ole Miss was because it opened LSU by 2.5. Well, this Bama line opened at Bama by 2.5. Rat line on the road. It's now down to Bama by 1. And I'm probably going to get killed for this, but I can't believe I'm drinking the Aggie Kool-Aid, but I'm doing it. Max Johnson's been looking good. I like the Petrino hire. Even in the loss to Miami, it wasn't the offense. Their defense, cratered a little bit. But it's going to be hard for Alabama to win on the road when you don't have a consistent offense. I mean, they really don't. And I think A&M's going to win this game. And I think when A&M does win this game, the West is going to get thrown into such a tailspin that heck knows what's going to happen. But I like A&M +1. That's my first pick. My second pick, so last week I was on Kentucky against Florida. Yeah. I thought Florida was overhyped because they beat Tennessee at home in the Swamp. Now we're looking at a situation where all of a sudden everybody's turning on Georgia. They pulled out. Look, I know Auburn's not that great, but still winning at Auburn's never easy. That's a rivalry game. Yeah, it was ugly. Whatever, they won. Kentucky's the new America's darling because they smoked Florida. This Georgia-Kentucky line went from 18 down to 14.5. I think this is the week Georgia shows up. I think everybody's on Kentucky. It's like a super public side, and I think this is the week everybody gets slammed on it. I think Georgia shows up, and you finally see a big Georgia effort, and they win this game by like 3 touchdowns. So I'm going with Georgia minus 14.5 as my second play. My third play, I'm going over 59.5 in Colorado, Arizona State. I like Kenny Dillingham, Arizona State's coach, a lot. I think he's an elite play caller, especially what he did last year with Bo Nix at Oregon. And Colorado doesn't really have a very good defense. And I just think this game's going to get kind of wild. So I'm going to go over 59.5. The honorable mention, I'd never, ever, ever bet against Ole Miss. But, man, this Ole Miss-Arkansas is just like the Arkansas-LSU thing. I mean, we talked about it. I went 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
No matter what the damn record is, Arkansas is going to fight LSU, and they're going to fight Ole Miss. It's just what's going to happen. And this is the trilogy of that series. LSU beat Arkansas in that last second field goal. You saw Ole Miss LSU last week. I think Arkansas Ole Miss is going to the gun. KJ Jefferson's going to have a hell of a game, and I just hope Ole Miss pulls it out. I no chance I'll lay 11.5 with Ole Miss this week. That's for sure. All right, going to Sunday. 3 more picks. Interesting that Jacksonville stayed over in London in Europe. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Yeah.
They won last week 23-7. We were on that. Now they take on a Buffalo team that's the hottest team in the NFL, a team that we were on last week against Miami when nobody could believe I bet against Miami. And Buffalo's a 5.5-point favorite. But, man, until Jacksonville doesn't win or cover in London, they always do. I'm riding it. And right now, Buffalo's the NFL darling. Everybody's slamming Buffalo because how good they've looked the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I get it. But give me the Jags plus 5.5 in London, man. Until they don't win or cover, I'm on it. 2 other games. Pittsburgh Steelers, who, one of the worst efforts in franchise history last week in Houston. Just atrocious. But that's a Mike Tomlin special. When he's a road favorite in games he's supposed to win, they never show up. But I'll tell you when they do show up, when they're a home underdog. And now they're catching 4 at home against Baltimore after losing as a road favorite, which is my number 1 gambling trend. So it looks like Trubisky might be going, but what's the difference? Give me the Steelers. Plus 4, that's a ton of points at home against Baltimore. In my final game, I'm holding my nose. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they lose. But as bad as it's looked for Atlanta, I think by 2 at home over Houston, they should win. I think they're in a bounce-back spot, and they'll pull out some kind of ugly game. So I'm going Atlanta minus 2. So to recap it, got A&M plus 1, the Georgia minus 14.5 against Kentucky, over 59.5 Colorado, Arizona State, Pittsburgh Steelers plus 4, Jacksonville Jaguars plus 5.5, and the Atlanta Falcons minus 2 against Houston. That's what we got.
Safe travels to Oxford. Have a great weekend on the return.
Dude, this Nashville thing, man. I hadn't been to this Barstool bar yet. I've been trying this fish tour. It's been on fire all year. I hadn't got to hit it. I'm super. I'm really, really stoked to catch that on the back end of it.
I will. We are locked in on
next week. I'll be over there. Barstool College football shows at Fred's next Saturday for LSU Auburn. So I'll be around Baton Rouge for sure. I'll try to come over Friday. I need to come in studio. So
come do it.
We'll see what I can do.
King of the South, Ben Mintz. We'll be tracking the bets. Benny's bets. We'll see you, buddy. Have a good weekend. Later, man. There he is, Ben Mintz, coming in, leaving hot just like he always does.
Comes in hot, leaves hot too.
All right, we'll be back. Jake Crain next.
I do have a. Okay. It's the over and everything.
If you're in the market for a mortgage lender, you need to start with Doug Bickley and his team. Bickley has built a crew with over 50 years of combined lending experience. They've been in business for over 20 years, and they love helping their clients achieve the American dream of home ownership. They're also key with working in real estate agents and helping their clients getting same-day pre-approval. They average about 1 buyer a day getting them in a home. If you want to get in touch with Doug and his crew, it's easy. Call them 225-214-5154. 225-214-5154. Go see the Bickley team today. They're located on the corner of Coursey Boulevard and Sherwood Forest right here in Baton Rouge.
What's up?
What's happening?
Chilling with a couple of cool guys. You?
Chilling and watching some tube. Hold on. Did you do it? Hold on. Did you do it?
Roof's up.
Hold on.
Roof's up.
Roof's up!
Roof's up.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college, for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Can't put the cart before the horse. That'd be like, will you marry me?
Do I know you?
Never sign a contract with a roofer before he gets on your roof. Call Go Roof instead. We offer a free, no-obligation inspection. A beautiful roof every shingle time. Bobby, goes in the front.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Belmont Stakes Race Training. I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Kentucky Derby Training. I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Offensive player of the game from LSU, Joe Burrow.
Football is life. Football is Joe Burrow.
Click Here Digital, the home of the Jordy Culotta Show. Online at clickheredigital.com. If you're looking to set Google ads, set social media campaigns, learn about SEO, display video, or even creative, Click Here Digital has the answer for you. Online at clickheredigital.com or email me directly, Jordy at clickheredigital.com. All right, welcome back here. Jordy Culotta Show is always built by R&B Builders, live on this Friday. Give us a like, a share, a follow. If you have not subscribed on social media, make sure and hit us at Culotta Show and on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, Crain and Company, great show every morning for you. Track and college football. You can keep up with them on social media at Crain and Company, and get back to our Fridays here where we link up with Jake. Jake, good morning. How are you, buddy?
And great, college football is going too fast. It tends to always do this. We wait for it, the build up, and all of a sudden you blink twice, and we're halfway through the year. I mean, if you played on week 0, you're going to be more than halfway through the regular season, which week 0 is not a real thing, but that's what they call it. I wish it'd slow down a little bit, to be honest with you.
Jake, I agree with you. It's flying by, but this is a fantastic weekend. Let's start in the 11 o'clock window because every television window has a huge matchup. Obviously, the triple R, the Red River rivalry will be tomorrow from Dallas and the Texas State Fair. Let's start there. Texas, Oklahoma. How do you like this one shaking out?
Man, I like Texas. This is a game I'm not betting. I don't like to bet the side or the total on this game. It's just rivalry games are weird to bet. We talked about it on the show. We talked about it all week. You look at Quinn Ewers, you look at this Texas team. What separated them? It's obviously been the defense, right? They're now a complete team. They're a balanced team. They don't just have to win every game like the Globetrotters win, where they outscore you. That front seven can get after you, and their offensive line too on the other side. I mean, Quinn Ewers showed up in Bryant-Denny and left with his jersey as clean as when he showed up. So I think Texas is too complete for Oklahoma. I do like Texas to win the game, but here's the thing I'd worry about if I'm a Texas fan. Oklahoma hasn't played the greatest schedule. I think they're 95th in strength of schedule, but there is that unknown, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we didn't know about Texas till they went and played Bama, and everybody was like, oh, God, like, Texas is for real. Oklahoma got beat to sleep last year in this game. They didn't have the athletes in the back end to be able to stop those 70-yard plays and turn them into 35-yard plays. It seemed like every time you got to the second level against Oklahoma, you hit the home run. There were no doubles. But they have that this year. So it's the unknown of how good really Oklahoma is against a big-time opponent. But Quinn Ewers has a knack to play big in big games. Steve Sarkisian versus Brent Venables is such an elite TED Talk about football offensively versus defensively. I can't wait to see it. But I do like Texas. I think it's going to be a lot tighter than it was last year. I think Texas is going to get up early. Oklahoma will make a run, but I do think Texas wins.
Yeah, ranked matchups all over the place. That's the first one of the day. In the same time slot, you got number 23 LSU taking on number 21 Missouri. Como's going to be bumping for this one tomorrow at 11 a.m. How do you like the Tigers versus the Tigers?
Well, I don't know how you look at this game and don't think it's going to be a track meet. I mean, everybody, and they should be, is talking about how bad LSU's defense has played. And if you look at Missouri's, against the run, they're pretty good, but against their pass, they're one of the worst in the country. LSU's offense right now is hotter than a fat kid in the first sleeping bag at summer camp. I mean, there's nothing they can't do. The offensive line can protect. They can run the ball. You got multiple guys at receiver. You've got a good tight end room. Jaden Daniels is seeing all of it. He's using all of it. Does have to be smarter when he runs, though. Sometimes I think he looks in the mirror and sees Josh Allen, like that old show on Disney where he would put the jersey on from the chest that he found, and he turned into that player. He needs to take care of his body more. But look, LSU going to the 4 down, that's great. That's great. Bringing in Pete Jenkins, Gandalf, Dumbledore, whatever, that's great. But at the end of the day, LSU's got to go out there and remember who they are defensively. I've talked about this all week. Like, when I think about LSU, I don't think finesse team. I don't think team that wins in shootouts. I don't think Kansas or USC. I think a team that when they get off the bus on defense and you turn that tape on, you find religion again because they're just running around destroying people. Where is that? Schematically, sometimes you're going to give up points, right? There's going to be a busted coverage. But the amount of missed tackles, I mean, it does look like they're overthinking it out there, but I've seen guys overthink and still put a hurt into somebody. So at the end of the day, I do think this game's going to be a track meet, and I do think that LSU has more weapons offensively and more answers offensively. So I think LSU squeaks by, but it could be, it could be 51-48.
Last team with the ball wins. College Station, yeah. Texas A&M is hosting Alabama tomorrow. This, to me, could be the game of the day. How do you like this one?
Man, I picked A&M to win this game in the offseason, and I feel even better about it now than when I picked it during the offseason. I don't think either team's going to be able to run the ball very well. So what does that mean? It means it's probably going to be low scoring. It's probably going to be a slugfest. It's probably going to be something where the quarterback has to be able to throw to win, and the team that commits the least penalties wins because you'll get in the least third and longs. I trust Max Johnson, even though he's somewhat turnover-prone last week. I think he does predetermine some of his throws, just like Jalen Milroe does in the drop-back game. But over the course of a 4-quarter game, if you can't run the ball, and look, A&M has the athletes on defense to not let Jalen Milroe just run around the whole game and kill them on the ground, similar to what Texas did. I trust Max Johnson more. I just do. But Alabama's had trouble with penalties. I know they were good against Mississippi State, but Mississippi State's slowly turning into everybody's get-right game. Mm-hmm. In a game against a team that's worth their salt, on the road, can they not have the procedural penalties? Can they not have the turnovers in the drop-back game? Because if they do that, they're not going to score enough points to win. I like Alabama's defense, but I think A&M ends up winning the game. I'm going with the Aggies.
I like it. I think you're right, man. This is going to be a slugfest. This is going to be a heavyweight fight tomorrow at Kyle Field. I think this is going to be must-watch television. All right, now to 6 o'clock. The number one team in the country, Georgia, is hosting a red-hot Kentucky squad who's coming in kind of feeling themselves after last weekend. What do you think about this one in between the hedges?
Georgia cover for a couple reasons. One, everybody keeps talking about Georgia's weakness is the run game. Okay, I wouldn't really call it a weakness when you look at the numbers. I think they're giving up 2.8 yards a carry, something like that. But if you really look at it, it's quarterbacks on the exterior that have hurt them in the run game. I mean, that's where Auburn got them. Auburn didn't get him by just lining up and running it in between the B gaps. Devin Leary isn't that guy. Devin Leary's not a guy that's going to hurt them in the run game. They run a lot of gap scheme too, which is north and south, right into the teeth of this Georgia defense. And all those Georgia players are going to be hearing all week. Kirby Smart's going to be running around in practice with that bullhorn, screaming, stop the run. We need to get off the fast starts. And Devin Leary has not shown the ability to win games when they're one-dimensional. We've not seen it. In fact, he panics under pressure. I mean, he's Jodie Foster, 100%. I mean, he's running the panic room, closing the door, just hoping the cops hear something. So if they take away the run, I like this Kentucky defense, but Carson Beck's been very efficient. Ladd McConkey's getting healthier. I think they're taking the training wheels off him from a play calling standpoint. And at some point, Georgia's going to turn into who they're going to be this year, right? They're winning while developing. I think this weekend it starts. I think all this negative noise against him, Kirby is the best brain manipulator, brainwasher of all time outside of Nick Saban when it comes to this. But now he's not having to manufacture it. He can just point to people saying, oh, Georgia's mortal now. This team isn't as good as the last 2 years, which they're not. But I think they get up this weekend and they look like the Georgia some of us thought they were going to be, or the Georgia they're going to be later on in the year.
Great work this morning. Great to see you. Enjoy Saturday. We'll talk next week.
Hey, y'all too. It should be a great one, man. Great to talk to y'all again.
Later, man. There he is, Jake Crain from Crain & Company. Follow him on X or on Twitter at JakeCrain_ and catch him here every Friday. That conversation brought to you by Go Roof, online at GEAUXroof.com. A beautiful roof every single time. Remember, roof's up over at Go Roof, 225-927-8300. Get a 2-year free workmanship guarantee with all new roof installations. Doesn't matter if that's commercial roofing, residential roofing, or just roofing repairs that you're in the market for. Online, GEAUXroof.com, GEAUXroof.com, or call them 225-927-8300, where you can count on Go Roof for roof repair, roof installation, and roof maintenance. GEAUXroof.com. That's free quotes, free and quick roof inspections, over 15 years of experience, proudly supporting the Baton Rouge community since 2005. Online, you can find them at GEAUXroof.com or call them 225-927-8300. A beautiful roof every single time. We'll talk some Saints in the NFL when we come back here. Brooke Kirchhoffer from New Orleans.football will stop by as we will get the latest on the Saints and see if if she's in for trading a couple of players. We'll ask her.
The best way to have this conversation about LSU and the Saints. They couldn't be. If you could put the two teams together, you'd have a hell of a squad.
Oh my God!
It'd be championships.
Dynasty.
This is the reverse of how it used to be. It used to tune into Saturdays offense for LSU defense, and then Sundays you got your offensive fix. Now we're living in a parallel universe.
We'll be right back. Jordy Culotta Show, as always, built by our friends over at R&B.
Elite reference to the jersey.
Malik Neighbors, a wide receiver.
Favorite pregame meal?
Popeyes.
What would winning a national championship mean to you?
It would mean a lot to me because, we've seen a lot of the greats come through here, won their national championship, got, remembered for life.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Probably fly. That or telekinesis.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Do it wrong, do it long, do it right, do it light.
Kyle Lacey, wide receiver, number 2.
Do you have any nicknames?
K2.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Stay humble.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Fly. I be flying in my dreams.
What's been the highlight of your partnership with us?
The bike giveaway was one of the best things. I was pretty excited about that one. Texas A&M, I just got a point to prove because last year I dropped 2 balls I should have caught. I'm coming for them for real.
That's it. Thank you, man.
My name is Harold Perkins, and I play linebacker.
What's your favorite pre-game meal or snack?
Pasta with a little steak, something that's not too heavy.
Any superstitions or pre-game rituals?
I pray a lot. Just be me and God before the game. Perky worky. I like when they call me the percolator. I like that.
If anyone gets in a wreck, who should they call?
Gore.
Where were you born at, Greg?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. But I claim 5 food because I was raised there my whole life. Favorite type of food is spaghetti. But you need to try spaghetti with some corn on the side. Funniest person, I'd probably get Kyron Lacey. He be having me joked out every time I talk to him.
Who's the most athletic?
You know, besides myself, Perk or Malik. Future self, just take one day at a time, one step at a time. If you're doing something, just be where your feet are. Make sure you give 100% effort.
What is something on your bucket list?
Win a Super Bowl. That's definitely on my bucket list.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Time traveling.
Who's the fastest on the team?
Like in a short span, I would say quick trigger, I'm taking Perk. One thing most people don't know about me, probably that I moved 12 times growing up, 12 different states.
Who's the most savage on the team?
Mason Smith. Mason Smith, definitely.
And who gets it done?
Gordon.
Thank you, man. That's great.
Emory Jones, right tackle.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Got it from my mom, and she just told me, always keep your head on the swivel.
Favorite subject?
Math, easy. I kind of keep it light. Give me some type of red beans or something like that. Throw a little cornbread on the side.
Light with red beans.
Yeah, just a little bit. I am superstitious. I got some PSDs that's purple and yellow and white. I wear them every game. I feel like they my lucky draws, and you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep doing it.
Let's be special. Let's be strong. Let's smell greatness from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Daniel Newman can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. Get started today by calling Daniel Newman at 225-261-8262, 225-261-8262. Edward Jones, member SIPC. All right, no, hell no. Are you crazy?
Would you let Lloyd babysit your kid?
No way.
Question of the day.
This could be a unanimous vote.
They won't even let me dog sit. Sorry, Rue.
All right, good stuff. A lot of guests here today. We appreciate everybody for their time here this morning. We talked to Blake Baker, who's the defensive coordinator for the University of Missouri, Ben Mintz from Barstool, Jake Crain from Crain & Company, and our next guest, Brooke Kirchhoffer from NewOrleans.football. She is the award-winning Brooke Kirchhoffer from NewOrleans.football, Louisiana Sportscaster of the Year, and a weekly guest here with us. As we both had some things earlier this week and now able to link up later in the week and get us a Saints report here. Brooke, we were talking and kind of texting, and I'll trade you a couple of offensive players if you want to send over a couple of defensive players. As it's kind of it's anti-Louisiana football. For so long you would tune in on Sundays for offense and Saturdays for defense, and it's just kind of opposites right now as they go into the weekend.
And no one knows how to understand it.
How are we saying that when you have Michael Thomas, a healthy Alvin Kamara, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave,
and upset Chris Olave?
But it really makes no sense. And the more frustrating thing is talking with the offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael yesterday, which we all thought, all right, this is going to be maybe a little uncomfortable after the first 4 games, that we have just not seen a whole lot of motion used in the offense. We haven't seen a whole lot of creativity. Why are they using Alvin Kamara in the way that he was not? Alvin Kamara had 11 carries for 51 yards, 13 catches for 33 yards.
Ugh.
Something's just not right when you're getting Alvin Kamara the ball that much and you guys just aren't able to have production. We did see the Saints have success with the short passes outside to Michael Thomas and Rashid Shaheed, kind of get those guys in space, and they were able to move the chains and get the first down. They went away from that in the second half and just never went back to it, struggled. Derek Carr was trying to force some things with Chris Olave. We actually had a chance to talk with Chris Olave about maybe his attitude that was reflected in the broadcast of him maybe giving up on a route or him getting frustrated. And he said he actually had some guys reach out to him that's in his camp and was like, hey, man, look, yes, it's frustrating right now. We know you want to get the ball, but you can't act like that. And Chris said it was a real eye-opener for him. The message that we've gotten in the locker room this week is that these guys feel like they know what needs to fix or get corrected for this week in New England against a team that's averaging 13 points per game.
Ugh.
So it's going to be the battle of ugly right now. Like who's getting to 20 points first, which is terrible to say, but we'll see what happens. But man, the Saints haven't scored an offensive touchdown in 7 quarters. Would expect that would happen in New England this week.
That is disgusting. Y'all also had a chance to talk to Alvin Kamara.
Yep.
What's his mindset? He's got to kind of shift into a leadership role right now, just at this point in his career, right? I mean, are you seeing that?
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of saw that a couple years ago when Sean Payton actually allowed Alvin to have a voice on the sideline, even with some of the play calling. I mean, Alvin's football IQ is so high. He has a really good understanding of the game as a running back. He kind of sees the field like a quarterback. So we kind of saw that leadership build over the last 2 years. But man, Alvin was incredibly frustrated coming into the 4th game of the season, which was his first game after his 3-game suspension. He said he's been tired of watching the games from home and seeing the offensive struggles and feeling like if he were there, he could help and move the offense a little bit better. But as we saw, that was not the case when he came back. And then we talked to them in the locker room yesterday. We had the one-on-one with him. Nick was able to grab Alvin, and Alvin just continued to say, like, look, get it to the playmakers. We have to go in there and execute all 11 guys on the field. He did throw a little bit of shade at the play calling, so he's probably the only one that's actually been out there and said something about Pete Carmichael and the way they've been running the offense. Everybody else has kind of said we're going to get it corrected. We love the play calls. We love Pete. It's just a matter of executing. But Alvin was pretty honest about, like, no, we've got to get something changed, and we've got to get back to doing the things that we're good at. And that starts with the play calling. If you're not putting the right plays out there, your offense isn't going to be set up for success.
Is it that they're just trying to find what works with Carr? I mean, why does it seem so hard? I mean, it's the same thing you're asking over here in Baton Rouge about the LSU defense. I mean, like, why does it look so difficult? Why is it so hard? Are they trying to do something that just does not work?
I think so. I think they're forcing. So it's not even like they're not in 3rd and manageable. It's like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and they're acting like it's 3rd and 16, 3rd and 17 with Derek Carr just tossing down the field when it's like, just pick up that short pass outside that I was talking about that was working at the beginning of the game. To me, it does seem like it is the play calls, but there was 2 moments in the game that I felt like it could have changed in the Saints' favor. It was both in the second quarter. There was one ball to Rashid Shaheed. Yes, he was in double coverage, but Rashid pulled up on his route. I felt like he was on the sideline. He had the guys beat. It was one of those plays that we saw, I believe it was week 1, when Derek just said, like, go Shaheed. And I thought Rashid Shaheed pulled up on his route, and that could have been either a really big gain or a potential touchdown. He was right there in the red area where he would have caught the ball. And then Chris Olave, the second one, is not the sideline catch, because I know everybody was talking about that one, but the one where Chris Olave had beat 2 defenders en route to the end zone, and he was wide open right in front of the end zone, but Derek Carr took probably 1 or 2 seconds too late, and by the time he got the ball to Chris, he was in double coverage, and they broke it up. So the plays are out there. We see where it's just that little missing step, or like a guard who lets a guy run through, and there were several wide receivers open and Carr couldn't get it to him. And that's what the coaches have said this week. It's always one of the 11 that are missing an assignment. So we'll see. I mean, you kind of got to put your money where your mouth is this week and see if all 11 can come together. But you've got way too much talent on this offense to not get it figured out.
And I heard your coworker, Nick Underhill, kind of take Pete Carmichael to task a little bit when he asked him about the offense. And it seemed like everybody knows that there's something wrong with the offense except for Pete Carmichael. He was a little bit surprised to be taken to task. Does he not realize that maybe his job is on the line if he doesn't continue to change, if he doesn't make a change on the offensive approach?
Oh, he knows. I mean, he continued to say, it's on me, would not give any blame to Derek or the wide receivers or anything like that.
Well, he can't.
To say, I know. But no, Pete Carmichael knows his job is on the line. We continued to hound Dennis Allen this week, and I think he got a little frustrated with us by Wednesday. What's the deal with the play calling? Do you have confidence in it? Do you have confidence that your offense is going to get it together? And he just kept saying we're not going to make any changes. He didn't necessarily give like his stamp of approval that Pete Carmichael is going to get it figured out, or that he has confidence in Pete. So I don't know what they do there, but you do have other guys in the room like a Ronald Curry. You could bring in an offensive analyst that if those guys come together, and maybe it's the play calling is a matter of a couple people trying to figure it out, not just Pete Carmichael. I don't know. Something has to change, though, because there's no reason why they've been able to start off with a really good drive. And we see that's the frustrating thing, too. The Saints have started games off with a really solid drive. They get into the red area, and then it's like, all right, field goal. So sustaining drives throughout the game, like all of it has to get corrected.
I hear your frustration.
I hear Rue's frustration.
I hear Rue is she's locked out.
So I left her with the toy, and I guarantee she kicked the toy into a place where she can't get to it, and that's why she's barking.
Or she just hears you interviewing and misses her seat right next to you.
Yeah,
she's got tape.
That's right. So this is a great.
She's frustrated with Louisiana.
That's right. So. This is a great matchup, though, right? I mean, this is kind of like this is what the doctor ordered for the Saints, a trip to Foxborough.
Absolutely. Look, Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, whoever is going to be getting the start at quarterback in New England, isn't going to move around the pocket and move out of the pocket like we saw Baker Mayfield do Sunday against the Saints. And I think the Saints defense, a little frustrated this week in the locker room. There were 7 missed tackles. Pete Werner led in missed tackles, which is very uncharacteristic for him. We rarely see him miss tackles in a game. They want to get back to establishing the run. You're going up against a team who picked up 53 rushing yards against the Cowboys last week. So you're going to be able to establish some dominance on defense. And this is maybe an opportunity for the defense to score. Maybe Rashid Shaheed has another special teams touchdown. We'll see what happens, but this is set up very nicely for the Saints to try to get back on track. But it is Bill Belichick, and no matter what team he has, he is going to go at teams' weaknesses. He's going to pick you apart. He's going to make you uncomfortable and try and take away the things that you like to do as an offense. So I'd love to tell you that the Saints will get it all figured out now against the Patriots in New England, who are struggling and who are still trying to find their offensive identity as well. But until the Saints show it, it's really hard to trust that it will just happen overnight.
The rare CBS coverage this weekend is the Saints in the noon window at Foxborough will be playing on CBS. We will catch up and hear the latest with Brooke next Tuesday. Appreciate you bouncing around with us this week and on Friday. Let Rue in.
I know. Sorry about the dog.
Oh, no, not at all. Let Rue cook.
Good. Yes, absolutely.
I know.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks, you guys, too.
All right, there she is, Brooke Kirchhoffer from NewOrleans.football, checking in this morning, the award winner. If you want to go check out and read her information, read her stuff over at NewOrleans.football. They've got great information on the Saints taking on the Patriots this weekend. Remember Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Over at Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works, you can mention the Jordy Culotta Show and save 15% on whatever service you need them for, residential or commercial plumbing. All you got to do is mention the show. 225-776-2431. 225-776-2431 is the phone number to get involved over there. Our good friends over at BRCC, Brock Cantrell, who's the athletic director over there, and John Brady, who is a special assistant to the head coach with the basketball team over at BRCC are putting on a coaches clinic tomorrow that is a who's who of coaches. You got John Brady, you got Tim Floyd, you got Kermit Davis, amongst others that'll be there. Richard Williams, who brought the Mississippi State squad to the Final Four. Tim Jankovich will be there. We will talk to the crew next. We're rounding out our guest stacked second hour with the legend and the king of New Orleans, the former basketball coach at LSU, now working with BRCC and on the radio call for the LSU Sports Radio Network. He will be hosting a coaches clinic tomorrow at Baton Rouge Community College, and John Brady will be here next to tell us all about it. Come back with us. We'll close out the show with Brady here from Click Here Digital on the campus at Click Here Digital in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where we can set you up with a full-service digital marketing plan today. You can get in touch with me, Jordy, at clickheredigital.com. I'll put you in touch with a team of professionals, and we can start setting your Google ads, setting your social media ads. If you need more clicks on the website, we can drive traffic to your website. If you need more people walking through the door, we can get the door swinging open for you. If you need more phone calls, we'll get the phone ringing for you. Just get online, learn what the services are. If you need more information at clickheredigital.com, but if you know what you need to get in touch with somebody, email me directly, Jordy at clickheredigital.com. John Brady, next here. We're closing it out from Click Here Digital on the Jordy Culotta Show, built by R&B Builders.
Follow him on Instagram.
If you're in the market for a mortgage lender, you need to start with Doug Bickley and his team. Bickley has built a crew with over 50 years of combined lending experience. They've been in business for over 20 years, and they love helping their clients achieve the American dream of home ownership. They're also key with working in real estate agents and helping their clients getting same-day pre-approval. They average about one buyer a day getting them in a home. If you want to get in touch with Doug and his crew, it's easy. Call them 225-214-5154. 225-214-5154. Go see the Bickley team today. They're located on the corner of Coursey Boulevard and Sherwood Forest right here in Baton Rouge.
What's up?
What's happening?
Chilling with a couple of cool guys. You?
Chilling and watching some tube. Hold on. Did you do it? Hold on. Did you do it?
Roof's up.
Hold on.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
You can't put the cart before the horse. That'd be like, will you marry me?
Do I know you?
Never sign a contract with a roofer before he gets on your roof. Call Go Roof instead. We offer a free, no-obligation inspection. A beautiful roof every single time. Bobby, goes in the front.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Belmont Stakes Race Training. I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Kentucky Derby Training. I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Offensive player of the game from LSU, Joe Burrow.
Football is life. Football is Joe Burrow.
Click Here Digital, the home of the Jordy Culotta Show. Online at clickheredigital.com. If you're looking to set Google ads, set social media campaigns, learn about SEO, display video, or even creative, Click Here Digital has the answer for you. Online at clickheredigital.com or email me directly, Jordy at clickheredigital.com. Culotta Show, as always, built by our friends over at RMB Builders. Check them out online at rmb-builders.com. RMB Builders.
No joy.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Don't count the man out. Don't count him out.
Man's got 3 jobs.
All right, we're going to link up here with John Brady on a day full of guests. We saved the best for last. Remember our friends over at Tiger Air. Get some air with our friends over at Tiger Air, TigerAire.com. Tiger Air. Huge event tomorrow over at BRCC. A who's who of former college basketball coaches and just coaches in their own right. As an incredible roster tomorrow at 9 a.m. It starts at BRCC. Fantastic gym right here in the middle of Baton Rouge. 9 a.m. to 12 noon. You got Tim Jankovic. You got Tim Floyd, Richard Williams, Kermit Davis, and, of course, the esteemed John Brady, who is now over at BRCC as a special assistant to the coach, and is now joining us here. Coach, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I told you, man, there the phone's ringing in Brock. I'm sitting in Brock Cantro's office, and I said, there's a call from Baldwin, Louisiana. I'm not going to answer that.
Hey, Coach, you got to start recruiting again.
Says, that's probably Jordy, so I'm glad I answered it because I don't know nobody from Baldwin.
Brady gives you a little peek into his life. I'm not answering that. I don't have any business down there anymore. Hey, did you see?
Age, you don't answer strange calls.
That's right. That's right. Hey, have you seen Antonio Hudson's son? Have you seen this?
Seen what?
Antonio Hudson's son.
No, but I think LSU offered him in football already, and I was with Butch Pierre last night, and he said he's seen him play, and he thinks he's a high major basketball player as well.
Coach, he's 6'8", making plays at Ruston right now at wide receiver, jumping over people as a freshman. I mean, he is
special.
He is special. He is going to be something, man.
Well, they Antonio had a great career here. He's a loyal LSU guy, and that would certainly, if he turns out to be as good as everybody's anticipating, that would be a great opportunity for LSU to really get a good one and one that makes it more special. He's from Louisiana.
Absolutely. Coach, speaking about Louisiana tomorrow morning at BRCC, what an event that's being put together. Now, this is open to the public. You got a coaches clinic that is just, I mean, this roster is cool, and these are all close friends of yours. Tell us what's going on.
Well, it's another opportunity. When I asked Brock, would you mind if we tried to put together a coaching clinic, to bring some publicity to the school, get it out there, and all these guys that are coming, very successful in their own right, they're doing this for nothing. They're just coming in. We're going to dinner tonight at Bistro Byron's on Government, and you're welcome to come, Jordy, if you'd like, and break bread with us. And then we're going to start at 9:00, and Tim Floyd's going to kick it off. Two-time pro guy, coached the Pelicans, coached the Bulls, Iowa State, University of New Orleans, USC, El Paso. Then we're going to follow up with him with Richard Williams, who's Final Four coach at Mississippi State. And I tell people this all the time. I don't care if they resurrected Adolph Rupp or hired Bobby Knight. Mississippi State's not going back to the Final Four, and Richard Williams took them there. So,
right.
That's a hard place, man. LSU can do it again, but I'm not sure Mississippi State's going to be there anytime soon. And then we're going to let Kermit Davis come. And
wow,
Kermit had a very successful coaching career at Middle Tennessee. He was at Idaho at one time, and then went to Ole Miss and was SEC Coach of the Year his second year there, and then going to follow up with Tim Jankovich, who, coached at SMU, and Jankovich's last team won 23 or 24 games, and he was the coach in waiting for Larry Brown, if everybody remembers, and then Larry Brown would never quit, but they were paying Tim Jankovich head coach money to wait till Larry Brown quit, and he finally quit, and Jank took it over for about 4 years, did really well, and when he saw everything that was coming, NIL and all of that, and SMU's not going to get into that game as they should, he just retired. And he's a very good coach, very good guy. And then I'm going to kind of wrap it up at the end. And then you know what the coaches are doing then? We're driving down to Carter Plantation and play golf. So it's going to be a hell of a day.
Wow. Man, that's a John Brady day if I've ever heard one. Basketball and golf.
Yeah.
Let me guess what's for dinner. Vino and steaks.
There you go. That's tonight, man. So come join
That's right.
us. Come join us.
That's right, man.
I just hope some coaches come at any level. I mean, it's going to be a very interactive sort of clinic. It's not going to be, we're not going to lecture. We'll talk about whatever the coaches want to talk about. And depending on the numbers that show up, each coach will speak. But then we may just have a round table, let them fire questions at us about what we think about this, what would you do in this situation. And that will help anybody at any level, whether you're coaching, young guys that are elementary or junior high, or high school coaches or junior college coaches. Winning's all about the same kind of process. And so that's what we're going to talk about. And Tim Floyd's going to talk about things that he, not that he did, but things he wishes he shouldn't have done. And he has a whole lot of experience at every level with that type of information. So I think it's going to be informative and good. And if it turns out well, we'll do it again next year with some different coaches. I can get some guys in here to do this. And hopefully it'll be something we can do every year.
How cool, man. That is cool. Cool for the Baton Rouge area and for young coaches, or like Coach said, a coach of any level, to have that experience and that resource to you tomorrow morning, 9 until noon at BRCC. You can register online at brccathletics.com. Very easy to register here as I'm looking at it online. But the roster of coaches, as Coach Brady just rattled off, guys like Kermit Davis, Richard Williams, Tim Floyd, and Tim Jankovich, along with Coach John Brady, just putting their knowledge on display, answering questions. What a great opportunity for anybody around the basketball community. Coach, it's great to talk to you. Great to see you. I will see you soon. Thank you. Love you, man.
Good. Okay. All right, Jordy.
See you, man. There he is, John Brady, checking in. And look at that, man. We're on time. All those guests.
Yeah.
9 a.m. Pulling the car back into the car, right back into the parking lot at 9 a.m. Here's your Ferrari, sir. We never even took it.
Exactly what I was thinking.
We never even took it.
Just the way you left it.
That's right.
Miles are a little.
Don't look at the mileage. Don't pay any attention to the mileage.
We tried to run the mileage back.
No dents, no scratches, full of gas.
Love you, Dad.
Good day, boys.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, buddy.
Try to sneak that by.
Thank you.
Guy just comes in.
Just a Friday.
Just a humble guy.
Just a humble guy.
Who do we like tomorrow? LSU winning or not?
I like LSU in a shootout.
Yeah,
I like LSU in a shootout. And if you
want to
hop on a non-leg parlay, feel free to do that.
You got a 9-team parlay?
9-player prop parlay.
How many
Hit me.
bets do you
Hit
have?
me.
Oh,
rattle them off. Let's see what time you're going to lose by.
This is all in the LSU game. And so it's this has a chance to hit. It's over Jaden Daniels touchdowns.
How many?
2.5.
I'll take
that.
Over Brady Cook touchdowns. Let me pull it up.
6. I'll take it.
Yeah.
What's the odds on this?
Let me get all the information right so everybody can tell me I'm wrong. But this feels like a real winner.
Might have to put something out there.
Let's go. Come on, little player props, because you can't trust LSU, but you can trust LSU's offense.
Yeah.
You have Jane Daniels over 2.5 total passing touchdowns. Brady Cook over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Take it.
Jaden Daniels over 292.5 passing yards.
Take it.
Brady Cook over 264.5 passing yards.
Double down. Take it.
Logan Diggs over 73.5 rushing yards.
Take.
Jaden Daniels over 63.5 rushing yards. Now I know that's where he gets dicey. I put another one in with just 7. I took that one out. Luther Burden over 102.5 receiving yards. Malik Neighbors over 96.5 receiving yards. Brian Thomas over 77.5 receiving yards. It's not as crazy as you think.
Yeah, this
$5.
The one that scares me the most is Jaden Daniels rushing.
I did another one. I took that one out.
I'd take it off. And,
Yeah, I did.
Would you fill it with?
5? No, I just took it out. And
okay.
So now it's just an 8-legger.
See, Lloyd has taught me about betting, so I've been teaching the boys about betting.
Yes, keep the pot going. I got a book open if they need a place to put a wager down. $5 can win you a mere $5. Can net you $255.
Wow, what's 10 get you?
10 will double it. We'll go up to whatever 255 times 2 is.
Give it to me.
Yeah, right. I'm in.
500. But I mean, hell, from what you've seen from LSU's offense, it's not out the realm of possibility. No. I might put a Missouri one together also, and then an LSU one, and just watch the points happen. And then I put an
You're a smart man.
LSU money line, LSU over.
Or you're just a degenerate.
Just a degenerate that's watched a lot of people run up and down the field against LSU.
I'll take C. Thank you. All right, great day, 9 a.m. Here's the keys. Back to the car. Beautiful day. Good job out there. Thanks for everybody out this morning as far as the guests and their time. That was cool to catch up with
everyone.
Coach. Yeah, man, it was cool to hear from Blake and his preparation as they get going for Missouri. So shout out to Coach Baker over at Missouri for stopping in. Michael Villison from Ochsner gave us a little insight for the road ahead for Greg Brooks. Ben Mintz was here at 8 o'clock talking from Barstool. We heard from Jake Crain and, of course, Brooke Kirchhoffer and John Brady to close us out here on this Friday. So make sure to hit that like, share, and comment. And if you have the time, donate to the Greg Brooks Victory Fund, as Greg has got a hell of a fight ahead, and we're going to be here for him. Positive thoughts and praying for number 3 all weekend. We'll be back with you on Sunday, recapping the game. Make sure and give us a like, a share, a follow. If you have not subscribed, subscribe before you get out of here. We'll talk to you Sunday evening. Built by R&B.
3 on 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. Cordell on Twitter.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time. It's the hottest show around, we ain't gotta flex. Call up G, we get it done, we earning our respect. Tell recruits to let us in, where they going next. Throw up the L's, now we lit, band playing neck. From the boot to the east to the west coast. No matter where we at, we live, mic'd up for show. Open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta.